Hi, I'm Isla. 3 weeks ago, I became a mother to the most beautiful baby girl in the world. Her name is Emma, and she has these tiny fingers that wrap around mine like she never wants to let go. I thought becoming a mom would be the hardest part of my life, but I was wrong. The hardest part was discovering who my father really was. She's crying again, my stepmother Karen announced, her voice dripping with irritation as she stood in my doorway. It's 9 p.m., Isla. Some of us have work tomorrow. I looked up from rocking Emma, exhausted. Karen, she's 3 weeks old. Babies cry. I'm doing my best here. Your best isn't good enough, she snapped. This house has been chaos since you moved back in. I told your father this was a mistake. I'm only here temporarily until I find a place, I said, trying to keep my voice calm. My lease ended while I was on maternity leave, remember? Dad said I could stay. Well, your father says a lot of things he doesn't mean. I wanted to argue, but Emma started wailing louder. Karen's face twisted in disgust before she stormed out. 20 minutes later, after I finally got Emma to sleep, I heard raised voices downstairs. She has to go, Richard, Karen was saying. Tonight, I can't take another minute of this. Karen, be reasonable, my father's voice replied, but it was weak. It's my daughter. It's your 30-year-old daughter who should have her life together by now. And that baby is your granddaughter, I interrupted, coming down the stairs with Emma in my arms. Her name is Emma, and she's 3 weeks old. Karen's eyes narrowed. Don't you dare eavesdrop on private conversations in my house. Your house? I looked at my father. Dad, you've lived here for 30 years, since before Mom died. Isla, maybe we should talk about this in the morning, Dad said, avoiding my eyes. No, Richard, we're talking about it now. Karen crossed her arms. I want them out, both of them. Dad? I stared at him, waiting for him to defend me, to defend his granddaughter. Instead, he looked at the floor. Isla, sweetheart, maybe it would be better if you stayed with your brother for a while. Jake lives 2 hours away, and he's got a 1-bedroom apartment, I said, my voice shaking. Dad, please, just a few more weeks until... You heard your father, Karen interrupted. Pack your things. It's raining outside, I said, looking at the window where water was pelting against the glass. And it's 9:30 at night. Where am I supposed to go with a 3-week-old baby? Karen shrugged. That sounds like a you problem. You should have thought about that before you decided to have a baby without a proper plan. I had a plan. My lease just ended at a bad time, and Richard offered without consulting me, Karen said. And I've had enough. Get out. I looked at my father again, desperately searching for any sign that he'd stand up for us. Dad, please. It's pouring rain. Emma could get sick. Just let us stay tonight and I'll figure something out tomorrow. He finally met my eyes, and what I saw there broke my heart. Fear. He was afraid of Karen. I think it's best if you leave, Isla, he said quietly. Are you serious right now? My voice rose. You're choosing her over your daughter? Over your granddaughter? Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Karen said, her voice sharp. The door is that way. I stood there, stunned, holding my sleeping baby. Mom would be ashamed of you, I whispered to my father. His face flushed red. Don't bring your mother into this. Why not? She'd never let this happen. She'd never let you throw your child out into a storm. Get out! Karen screamed, loud enough to wake Emma, who immediately started crying. Get out of my house right now! Fine, I said, tears streaming down my face as I held my screaming baby. But this isn't over. You'll regret this. I ran upstairs, threw whatever I could grab into a diaper bag, wrapped Emma in 2 blankets, and headed for the door. The last thing I heard as I stepped into the freezing rain was Karen saying, Finally, some peace and quiet. My father said nothing. He just watched as I walked out into the storm with his granddaughter. I drove to my friend Maya's apartment, soaked and shaking. She took one look at me standing in her doorway and pulled me inside. Oh my God, Isla, you're drenched. What happened? My father kicked us out. Karen said Emma was too loud and he let her throw us out. Into the rain, Maya. My 3-week-old baby. Maya's eyes went wide with fury. He did what? That's insane! You're staying here as long as you need. But first, we need to get Emma checked out. She's so young, and if she caught a chill... I kept her covered. But Maya, it was so cold. We're going to the ER, now. 2 hours later, after the emergency room confirmed Emma was fine, I called my brother Jake. He threw you out in the rain with Emma? Jake's face on the video call went from concerned to livid. Please, tell me you're joking. I wish I was. Karen demanded it. Dad just went along with it. That's actually insane. Isla, I wish I had room here, but my apartment... I know. Maya's letting us stay. We need to talk about what your father did, Maya interjected, sitting next to me. That was child endangerment at minimum. You think we should report him? Jake asked. I think he needs to face consequences, Maya said firmly. You don't throw a baby out into a storm. But he's our father, I said weakly. So what? Jake's voice was hard. Being a parent means protecting your kids. He failed you. The next morning, I called my Aunt Linda, my father's older sister. She'd always been the family matriarch, the one person Dad actually listened to. He did what? Linda's voice turned to steel as I explained everything. That's spineless. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but your father has lost his mind. Throwing you out with a newborn? That crosses every line imaginable. I don't want to cause family drama. Drama? This isn't drama, honey. This is a crisis. I'm calling him right now. Aunt Linda, I don't think... No, you don't think. You let me handle this. I'm his older sister. He'll listen to me. An hour later, Linda called back. I spoke to your father. Or rather, I tried to. Karen kept interrupting, talking over both of us. I finally told her to be quiet, and she hung up on me. Can you believe that? Then your father texted saying I should mind my own business. Isla, I think we need legal action. I know a lawyer named Patricia Chen. She's excellent. Let me call her. By evening, I was on the phone with Patricia. Miss Isla, what your father did is serious. Very serious. We're talking about potential criminal charges. I don't want to send my dad to jail. Then what do you want? Patricia asked, her voice gentle but firm. I thought about standing in the rain with my screaming baby, about my father's face as he chose Karen over us. I want him to face consequences. I want him to understand what he did was wrong. Then let's make that happen. Patricia arranged a meeting at her office, neutral ground. When my father and Karen walked in, I was already sitting there with Patricia, Aunt Linda, and Jake, who'd driven down overnight. What is this? Karen demanded immediately. Some kind of ambush? It's a conversation, Patricia said calmly. Please sit down. I don't think so. Come on, Richard. We're leaving. But Dad was staring at me, at the dark circles under my eyes. Isla, are you okay? Is Emma? Don't you dare ask about Emma now, Jake cut in. Where was this concern when you threw them into a storm? It was raining, not a storm. Oh, so that makes it okay? Jake stood up. Dad, what is wrong with you? Sit down. Both of you. Patricia's voice was ice. Or I file the police report today instead of giving you a chance to make this right. That got their attention. Karen's face went white. Police report? For child endangerment and reckless neglect. You forced a mother and her 3-week-old infant out of shelter during a rainstorm at night. Emma had to be taken to the emergency room. She was fine, Karen protested. She was lucky. Luck doesn't negate the crime. Now sit. They sat. Dad, I started, my voice shaking. Do you remember when Mom died? I was 16. You told me that no matter what happened, we'd always be family. That you'd always protect me. Isla, let me finish. You promised. And I believed you. Even when you married Karen only a year later, even when she started changing things, I told myself it was okay because you were happy. When she made it clear she didn't want me around, I moved out at 18 to make things easier. Did you ever thank me for that? You wanted to move out. You said, I was 18 and trying to make you happy. And when I got pregnant, when Emma's father left and I needed help, I swallowed my pride and asked to stay with you. You said yes. You promised it would be okay. Then why? Why did you let her throw us out? The baby was crying all night, every night. Karen needs sleep for work. And I don't? I'm the mother. I need sleep too. But I get up because that's what parents do. You used to be a parent, Dad. What happened to you? Nothing happened to him, Karen interjected coldly. He just finally put his wife first, like he should have years ago. The room fell silent. Even Patricia looked shocked. Excuse me? Jake said quietly, dangerously. You heard me. Richard spent years putting his children ahead of his own happiness. I'm his partner now. I come first. She's 3 weeks old, I shouted. She's a baby. She was cold and wet and could have gotten seriously ill, and you don't care. I care about my husband's well-being. You're an adult. You should have your own place. I had a place. My lease ended while I was on maternity leave. He offered without asking me first. That's the problem. Because it's his daughter, Aunt Linda exploded. His flesh and blood. And I'm his wife. That supersedes... It doesn't supersede basic human decency. Jake slammed his hand on the table. Dad, are you hearing this? Are you hearing what she's saying? Dad looked up, his eyes wet. Isla, I'm sorry. I am. I should have handled it differently. Can't we just move past this? Move past it? You want me to just forgive you and pretend this never happened? I'm your father. Family forgives each other. No, I don't accept your apology. You put my daughter in danger. You chose your wife's comfort over your granddaughter's safety. I looked at Patricia. File the report. You can't be serious, Karen said, standing up. You'd really press charges against your own father? You really threw a baby out into the rain, Jake countered. Yes, we're serious. Dad's face went red. Isla, if you do this, there's no going back. I won't forget this. Good. Remember what you did. Remember it every single day. Karen grabbed Dad's arm. Richard, threaten her. Tell her you'll contest custody or something. What? Dad looked horrified. Karen, I can't. Then you're weak. You're destroying your father over one mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. And you're making another one right now by threatening me. Patricia stood up. I think we're done here. And Karen? That threat about custody? I recorded it. Don't contact my client again. 2 weeks later, I was sitting in Patricia's office again, listening as she explained the district attorney's decision. They're moving forward with charges. Reckless endangerment of a child specifically. Given Emma's age and the weather conditions, they're taking it very seriously. What does that mean for Dad? I asked. If convicted, he's looking at potential jail time, though more likely probation, mandatory parenting classes, and a protective order preventing contact with you and Emma. Jake, sitting next to me, squeezed my hand. He made his choice, Isla. Now he faces the consequences. I know, but... No buts. What he did was illegal. Period. Maya nodded. And the court of public opinion isn't on his side either. Did you see the story hit the local news? I had. Father throws newborn granddaughter into storm had been the headline. The comments had been brutal. Has he tried to contact you? Maya asked. He's called 12 times, texted even more. All apologies, saying he made a mistake, begging me to drop the charges. And? Jake prompted. I haven't responded. What's there to say? Sorry doesn't cut it. What about Karen? She sent one text. Said I was ruining Dad's life over nothing and that I'd regret this. Patricia frowned. That's harassment. I'll add it to the file. She's digging herself deeper. 3 weeks later, the hearing arrived. Dad showed up alone. Apparently, Karen had filed for divorce, saying she couldn't be married to a criminal. He tried to approach me in the hallway. Isla, please, can we talk? No, I said simply. I'm your father. Don't I deserve a chance to explain? You had your chance. You chose wrong. I made a mistake. Can't you forgive me? No, I told you that already. His face crumpled. So that's it? You're just going to let them send me to jail? You sent my daughter out into a storm. Yes, that's it. The judge wasn't sympathetic either. Dad got 18 months probation, 200 hours of community service, mandatory parenting classes, and a 5-year protective order. He was also required to pay all of Emma's medical bills from that night. "Do you have anything to say to the victim?" the judge asked. Dad turned to me. "Isla, I'm so sorry. I love you. I love Emma. Please, can't we work past this?" I stood up. "No, because you don't love us enough. You didn't love us enough to protect us, and sorry doesn't change what you did." "So you'll never forgive me? Ever?" I didn't say that, but forgiveness isn't something you get to demand. It's something you earn, and you haven't earned it. You haven't even tried. "I'm trying now." "Now it's too late. You should have tried when it mattered, when my daughter needed a grandfather who'd keep her safe." As we left the courthouse, Jake put his arm around me. "You okay?" "Yeah, I am." Maya, carrying Emma, smiled. "You did the right thing. I know, it just doesn't feel great." "It's not supposed to," Aunt Linda said, joining us. "But justice rarely feels satisfying. It just feels necessary." 6 months later, I had my own place. A small apartment, but it was mine. Emma was growing fast, her cries turning into gurgles and laughs. Dad sent cards sometimes, birthday cards, Christmas cards, all returned unopened. "You ever think about reading them?" Maya asked one day as we sat in my living room, watching Emma play on her activity mat. "Sometimes, but then I remember that night. The rain, her crying, the look on his face when he chose her over us. And I think, no, not yet. Maybe not ever." "That's fair. You don't owe him anything." "People keep asking if I feel guilty, if I regret pressing charges." "Do you?" "No, he had a choice. He chose wrong. Actions have consequences." I picked Emma up, holding her close. "And I'll always choose her. That's what parents do." Maya smiled. "That's what good parents do." I looked down at Emma, at her bright eyes and toothless smile. Dad taught me something important that night. He taught me exactly the kind of parent I never want to be. Sounds like you're already the kind of parent Emma needs. I hope so. That's all I can do. Hope I'm enough. You are, Maya said firmly. Trust me, you are. And looking at my daughter, safe and warm and loved, I finally believed it. So what would you do if your parent chose their new spouse over you and your child? Would you press charges or try to forgive? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another tale of revenge and justice.